Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. I would like to present my presentation, and the title is The Driving Factor of Influencer Marketing on Value Co-Creation Through the Patronage Intention. And my name is Nizar Fauzan, and I have two co-authors, Associate Professor Pensi Jarwanit. She is my supervisor, and then the second one is the Professor James, for the co-advisor in this study. Okay. Let's begin. We have the agenda. We have 7 points here. For the first is introduction, background, problem statement, significance of the study, research questions, and research objective. The 4 is the literature review. The 5 is the hypothesis development and conceptual framework. And the 5 is methodology. And the last is the contribution of the study. Okay, let's move to the introduction background. So nowadays, the modern marketing face many rapidly due to the technological things. For the first thing, the digital transformation has rapidly changed the current situation and transformed marketing, creating a space where brand and customer interact in the new and meaningful ways. For instance, like the customer can contribute to the brand to give some review or survey from the company itself. And the second is digital CSR. Digital CSR, it means like the evolution from the traditional CSR and then move to the people collaborating. This process improve the customer playing an active role through the design, productions, delivery, and consumption phase, which distinguish it from traditional model where consumer were passive recipients. Okay, let's move to the phenomena. Okay. The phenomena in marketing influencer size has gained prominence, transforming from a niche tactic to a mainstream strategy through the social media. We have a micro and macro influencer and analytics. These consumers are notable for their decision-making style, which include a tendency toward the perfectionism, being influenced by others and feeling overwhelmed by multiple choices. And this study is concerned to the service industry, according to Chalapong et al. 2023, stated that the rise of ride-hailing services in the Southeast Asia sharing economy, despite the young adult following in the sustainability, their choices are primarily influenced by convenience, cost, and social norm. Hence, the increasing adoption of the digital in the ride-hailing industry, there is a limited understanding of how this initiative influence consumer behavior. The gap in this study primarily resolved around the lack of understanding of the mechanism connecting influencer marketing to the product intention among young consumer and particularly in the service industry. Okay. As you can see, this is the significance of the study, that the key point of the construct. The amount of the comments from the influencer marketing from 2018 and 2024 is still limitation of the publication. There are 126 documents in the Scopus Index, and move to the TPB and the value co-creation behavior. In a decade, there are 1,315. And the last is the public intention and the value co-creation. There are 229 documents in a decade. So this is from the marketing influencer. It's less than 10 years. So that's why it's very crucial, this concept, to study further in current study. Okay, let's move to the research gap. Okay, the existing literature on the influencer marketing predominantly focus on the direct effect on influencer strategies on consumer behavior. However, there is a significant gap in understanding indirect mechanism through which influencer marketing influence patronage intention, especially among young consumers. And the previous study have not adequately examined the mediating rules of brand community and customer company identification connecting to the influencer marketing to the value co-creation and patronage intention, especially young consumer. And then move to the young consumer high engagement with the social media influencers. Existing research lack insight into how this interaction translate into long-term loyalty and brand commitment within the industry. And the study aims to address this gap by investigating the indirect effect and the influencer marketing on the patronage intention through the value co-creation. Especially the study is the conceptual study. Okay, this is the third question. There are 4 points here. How does influencer marketing affect on the value co-creation? And the second is, to what extent does brand community affect the value co-creation, and how does CI impact the value co-creation? And the fourth is, the does value co-creation influence patronage intention? So this is the objective of the study, to examine the direct effect of the influencer marketing and brand community and CCI and value co-creation among young consumers, to examine the mediating role of the value creation between the influencer marketing, brand community, and CCI impact on the patronage intention. Okay, let's move to the literature review and theoretical foundation model. This study actually used the TPB, is the framework that built upon the theory of recent actions initially proposed by Agent in 1985. So this theory is very crucial for this study because we have to know about the consumer behavior. So this section is outline the distinctions between Gen Y and Gen Z, and then emphasizing the shared experience due to the growing up in the digital connected. So I think that for the Gen Z and the millennial, they're always constant to digital information. So this is the related to the construct of the study. For the first is the marketing influencer size. There are 2 points here. You can see the micro influencer and macro influencers. The distinctions from these influencers, like the amount of the followers from the micro and the micro, and then move to the customer company identification, refers to the psychology attachment from when the consumer perceive that their identity align with the company identity, and move to the brand community, a social structure formed around a brand where consumers share a sense of belonging and emotional connections. And then move to the value co-creation. This is the part of the base critical things of the construct in marketing nowadays. This is initially widely explored in different management domains. It is essential to distinguish the concept of consumer value co-creation from the more common discussed idea of the consumer value co-creations. According to Yi and Gong, there are 2 points here. The dimension from the value co-creation, this is the customer participation behavior and customer citizenship behavior. And move to the last construct, this is the patronage intention. This concept is like various researching, including the Baker in 2022 and 2020, emphasize that customer likelihood to continue engaging with the purchase form and recommending a particular online or retail establishment. For instance, like the patronage intention is not for purchase product or services from the company, but they will have a long-term relationship with that company itself. It will be different with the purchase intention, because patronage intention is like the long-term relationship between two construct, like the company and the customer. Okay, this is the conceptual framework. The conceptual framework, there are the 3 dimensions. I mean, like for the hypothesis, for the first is like the direct effect and the mediating effect. So this is the first hypothesis from influencer marketing to the value creation, and then the brand community hypothesis to value creation, and then the customer company identification to the value creation for the direct effect, and then for the last of the direct effect is value creation to the patronage intention, and the last for the hypothesis connecting in the mediating effect from all the construct to mediate the patronage intention. So this is the main concern in the study, is patronage intention. And then this is the hypothesis development. So there are 9 hypotheses, including the direct effect and the mediating effect. So the first is the influencer marketing is expected to significantly impact the value creation. And the second is brand community is expected to significant impact on the value creation. And the third is CCI is expected to significantly to value creation. And the fourth is the value creation is expected to significantly in the patronage intention. And move to the mediation. Value co-creation mediate the relationship between value influencer marketing and patronage intention. And next is the value co-creation mediate the relationship between brand community and patronage intention, and the 7 is value cognition mediate the relationship between consumer company identification and patronage intention, and the 8 is brand community positively impact on the patronage intention, and the last is the CCI yeah, positively expected to impact in the patronage intention, and this is the reference already have the 5 years ago that concern in that company in that study. So this is the reference that related to this study. And move to the methodology. Okay, this study used the quantitative research, and especially for the data analysis, we'll use the smart PLS. And then for the data instrument tools, this study will use the online questionnaire. It will be concerned to share the questionnaire to be related to consumer who focus or has experience purchase services from the ride-hailing services, and ensuring the validity and reliability. And also for the response scale structure, this study used the 7 Likert scale level. And then for the questionnaire development is from the alignment, the literature review, and then the pilot study, it will be test, and then the expert review and panel phase, and the content varieties like the IOC validity for the questionnaire, and move to the sampling technique. This study will use the convincing sampling is used to select the participant based on their accessibility and willingness to participate, and this study will concern to the young adult consumers. And then the ethical consideration, this study is approved from the ethical study in the university, because this is the requirement for this conducting research under the research ethics. And then the data analysis will use the smart PLS. Okay, the research focus, this is the interpretation of the result for the conceptual study. Okay, this study is conceptual paper that propose a theoretical framework to examine the role of the value co-creation in the service industry, and the future research should validate this framework using the rigorous and empirical methods, including the sampling technique and the mixed method. And advantages for the theoretical knowledge by clarifying the mediating role and the value co-creation, linking the influencer marketing, brand community, CCI to the consumer outcomes such as the patronage intention, and extending the existing the theory of the TPB and the customer behavior theories in the digital ecosystem. This is very important in the study for the marketing field to concern in the digital ecosystem. And the practical contribution, this study expected enhance the consumer engagement and loyalty through the influencer marketing and brand community guidance for the businesses in designing the effective the marketing the strategy by the understanding of the value co-creation, and adapts marketing effort to specific geographic context to align with the customer expectations. So the company, it should be aware about the demographic from the consumer itself. And then the limitation, demographic investigates how age, income, and culture impact value co-creation and ethical consumerism. Also, this study has a limitation, especially this study will use another industry, seems like the manufacturer and the goods industry. So because this study is concerned to the service industry, so this is good things. And this study for the future will be used the qualitative in the focus group and also for the mixed method. Okay, thank you. That's all from my presentation. Thank you for your attention.